Imani Bates, emergency commitment episode. I thought the day would never come. He's going to Eastern Michigan. He's staying home, or returning home is probably the proper term. Congrats, Imani. Congrats, Elgin. Congrats, Bates Fundamentals. You've made it to the MAC, the pinnacle of college basketball at any level. Carter, is this a good move, bad move, man move? What's the move?
It's the last move. It's the final one. Like this is the move. And that's crazy to say about a kid who really this should be his freshman year. Like he reclassed last year to go to Memphis early. And we talked about that situation to lengths and how much of a dumpster fire that was in all aspects. But I don't know. It's crazy that we're at this point. Like if you would have told me 2 to 3 years ago that Imani Bates would be pretty much going to his freshman year at Eastern Michigan, I would say you're a liar, or I would ask if Elgin Bates was the coach. Like I did not think that situation would come to this, but we talked about this on the side, Greg. I'm a sucker for a good redemption story, and I can see the redemption story happening. There is a talented basketball player there with Imani Bates. Like say what you want, but he could easily average like 17, 16 points this season. And maybe even the percentages aren't that bad. Maybe we're thinking like mid 40s, possibly.
Well, percentages are going to be bad. The percentages.
Why?
Because he's going to a program that's going to let him do whatever he wants. And I mean, Elgin used to talk about how he wants his efficiency to not be too good. Like this is not going to be good. I'm also rooting for Imani, hardcore rooting for Imani. I'm a big Imani Bates fan. I'm not kidding. I'm not disingenuous when I'm saying that. I believe there is an uber talented basketball player in the bones of Imani Bates. There's a lot of bullshit that needs to be navigated through. I don't have any faith anyone involved in the Eastern Michigan basketball program is the person to navigate that bullshit and or help Imani Bates in any way deal with his own bullshit. Because the guy who needs the redemption story is not Imani, it's Elgin. And this screams like Elgin is getting his way. Like Elgin wasn't going to allow him to go to a program that isn't going to let him show up to practices and micromanage and try to coach the team. And that's going to happen here in his backyard, right? Like, I don't know. I'm excited to watch it. Like he's going to come play a game in Kalamazoo this year, I believe. I'll be at that game. I'm going to watch as much Eastern Michigan basketball as I can. I hope he dominates this level. I think he's the most talented player to ever play basketball in the MAC. Truly believe that. But if you told me or asked me to predict where does this lead him as far as his pro prospects, there's a lot of downside here. Like he's going to have to be like a 25 a game scorer to get back in the first round projection.
Right? And I don't even know if that'll get him there. Like the margin for error now is crazy small, because let's say he goes to another school and let's say his stats aren't necessarily up to par, but it leads to winning basketball. And it shows that he can play with other, play on a winning team, play on a team that's not all about him. It shows him in a different light, basically. Now the margin for error is very, very thin. Like he could average 25 points a game, and that might just get him into like the first round of the NBA draft. So, I mean, I still view him as a first round pick. I would 100% pick Imani at the end of the first round. I would. I don't know if you would go there.
I wouldn't have in this draft.
I'd pick Imani Bates over Christian Brown.
I don't if I'm the Nuggets, I wouldn't. They're trying to win basketball games. Imani has not proven he can do that at any level since.
Hey, hold on. Now hold on a damn minute. The Ypsilanti Lincoln Rail Splitters won a state title when Imani was a freshman. Damn it.
Can we talk about how hypocritical and funny it is that he's trying to play the coming home card and how much staying home matters to him on his post announcing this when he left Lincoln? I get that he started his own school, but he was trying to go play a national circuit because his dad wanted to. He left the MHSAA. He could have done the stay home movement. In fact, if he did the stay home movement, none of this ever happens. He just goes the normal route, plays 4 years in high school, stays at the top of that draft class, ends up getting offers from everywhere, might still end up at Memphis, but he'd be an incoming freshman next season instead of last season, and he'd be on the path where he needs to be still. What would happen if he just shut it down? Like if he pulled a Shaden Sharp and never played basketball after Ipsy Prep? He's probably like a lottery pick still, isn't he?
Lottery, I don't know. Because once those measurables came out and things like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He never would have been measured.
Eventually, he would have been measured, like at combine, pro day, something. Somebody would have got some measurements on him.
Caleb Houston didn't get measured.
There was no reason to measure that bum.
This kid, I'm rolling my eyes as like a hopefully future parent one day, Cart. Like all his camp that's been trying to help him, all they needed to do was either one, stay out of his way, or two, shut the man down. Like
I just don't understand. Like what you know what? I don't even want to do it. I don't want to put myself in a father's shoes. Not a father, got a first son. He's tight, he's cool, but I don't really equate that to having a real son. I just don't understand what goes through a man's head when you're like, oh, that's what I'll do. That's what's best for my son. Hell yeah, I'm gonna start my own prep school. What? Like I don't get if Imani Bates after his freshman year really wants to play that bad, if he goes to Sunrise, if he goes anywhere, go to Prolific Prep, go anywhere, any other prep school, he's probably fine. But no, he had to go take him. He had to start his own one, ball boy, and because of that, Carson Cooper is a Michigan State Spartan.
There are ramifications here. Remember the good old glory days when Imani Bates and Rocket Watts was the duo that was going to bring Michigan State to the promised land. Honestly, Cart, maybe should we give Tom Izzo some credit for avoiding the Rocket Watts and Imani Bates era and cutting that short?
I don't know if you want to take this angle with me. I'm staying strong. I'm staying 10 toes down. I'm standing on it. Word to Draymond. I would still take Imani Bates on my basketball team right now.
So would I, but like, you still got to give him credit for like realizing it was a dumpster fire and avoiding it, even if that means 9 scholarship guys and a couple down years. Like,
if anything, this just helps my agenda that in order to start a prep school, Imani saw Michigan State as the program he wanted to commit to. You don't want to commit to Michigan and start your own prep school. That's not enough hype. They stink. You commit to Michigan State, then you start a prep school. Two good things go hand in hand. But let me get a stat prediction from you for Imani Bates this season.
18 a game, 39% from the floor on a just above 500 team, and 7 missed games, 7 DNPs.
7 DNPs?
7 DNPs.
Like, does he dress?
I don't know. I think there will be injuries. I think there will be real injuries. Not to wish that on a kid, knock on wood, but like, I don't have any confidence this kid will play anything close to 30 games.
Okay, I got 16 a game on 43% from the field, 35 from 3.
43 would be crazy from what we've seen. We'll see. Eastern Michigan has some dudes, like not to shit on the MAC. Like there are some pretty good teams in the MAC.
Hey, for
really good this year.
For people from this area, legend Jeter. Yep. Went to River Rouge, a really good player. At least in high school, he was. I think
Imani didn't like each other.
They didn't. They actually had an Instagram live beef, I believe, and I believe Imani used the words. I honestly believe there was a threat, like an actual real like threat on his life. So I guess they'll hash that out on the first day.
So this is starting out great.
No, but they got another transfer, Acuff. He went to Cass Tech in this area, transfer from Duquesne. Had a pretty good freshman year at Duquesne. I think he's a good piece. I'm not gonna sit. I really don't like that. I'm really breaking down Eastern Michigan in the MAC because it doesn't matter because Coach Fowler's at Western Michigan and the MAC goes through Kalamazoo. Just so everybody knows.
Wayne Stevens. That's my hometown, man.
Coach Chris Fowler.
There will be multiple Western Michigan games attended for me this year. In my 7th year as a Kalamazoo resident, that's the first time that's going to happen. So
That's messed up. Jake was the coach there.
I know it's not great, but we all knew it was pretty bad basketball. No,
Stunk.
so it might be better basketball this year. We'll see. So you keep saying you're a sucker for a redemption story, though. You're really a sucker for things that crash and burn. I just want to like quick friend to friend.
Are you throwing that out there, or do you have actual examples of this?
You're a sucker for Michigan State bad roster moves. And like, I try to warn you that things are crashing and burning. And you and many others are a sucker for things like that.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that statement. And I feel like every statement made by you has to be taken with a grain of salt when it's referred to Michigan State program.
You once told me that Jeff Okuda was an all-pro player within 2 years, and you are a Lions season ticket holder and have been since birth. You're a sucker for things that crash and burn.
If he doesn't tear his Achilles, who knows?
Honestly, if I didn't love your wife, like I would be worried this extends to like relationships in your life too. Like I don't know. Like I'm concerned with your decision making, and you get yourself into toxic spots, man. But again, I love your wife, so at least we know it's not on the romantic side.
Are we going to like an intervention type thing right now? What's happening?
Well,
I feel attacked.
You're framing this as like I'm a sucker for a redemption story. No, you're kind of a sucker for like things that go off the rails really negatively, and you still believe in them. Okay. I'm just saying.
I'm a little baffled right now. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I want what's best for you, Kat. And I don't know if tying your fate to Imani Bates is the move, but
hey man, Ipsy's back.
It's not good. Okay. Good luck, Imani. Congratulations. I guess we'll see what happens. You're gonna watch more Eastern Michigan basketball than you have in your entire life. I will promise you that.
Oh, there'll be some Ipsy trips made by me this year.
Good to know.
100%. And can I say one last thing before we close out the Imani thing?
Sure.
There's some nasty behavior going on from people on social media today on comments about a 19-year-old kid. It's kind of disgusting. I get preying on downfall of people, but like it's a little much. Sometimes you got to check yourself. Getting off a 9 to 5 and tweeting about 19-year-olds isn't always the best move all the time.
I take back all the negative things I said about you. That was a really impassioned, positive speech.
Thank you.
Good job.